Yes, I am aware of Josh Matthews and the infamous TNA My First Day video. Now, just to kind of basically recap it for you guys, Josh Matthews is part of this little TNA series with this blonde-haired woman. I don't really know her name. I don't really care. I don't particularly care for the TNA product right now. I'll talk about TNA next week, though, for sure. I did watch an episode on my DVR tonight. I have tonight's newest episode recording right now. So I'll definitely, because I know it's been a while, I'll talk about some of the things I've been seeing with TNA, where it's been kind of going right and where it's been kind of going and how I can get it a little better. But they got this series where certain talents on the TNA roster talk about their first day working for Impact. So you got Josh Matthews and everything's going good. And I like how he refers to the WWE as the other company. That's how he refers to the WWE. He says, when I was working for the other company. So at one point during this whole interview, Josh Matthews says, and you can't make this shit up. He actually says, I knew, even though I was working for the other company, that I would come here, that I was destined to come here. And when I heard that, just as I'm doing right now, I'm going, wait a minute. So while you were up in Stamford, Connecticut, having fine wine, caviar, having a chauffeur take you any and everywhere, and you were going to the finest 4 5-star hotels, big name franchise hotels, resorts, you just always knew that you were destined for Motel 6, that you were destined for McDonald's $1 value meal, or Checkers, Dollar Tree. You knew that you were destined to use public transportation to get around. You knew you were destined for that, and that was actually better. So when I first heard that, I'm kind of going, oh my, this is going to spark up some shit. And then we see Josh Matthews. He proclaims himself to be the greatest announcer of all time. And everybody's kind of going, the fuck is this dude smoking? What the fuck? And the floodgates on social media just came out. Everybody was ripping him a new you know what. And he was just poking people. He pissed off, I don't know if it was the actual Shark Boy, but even Shark Boy kind of got in on it, and Josh Matthews is blocking Shark Boy supposedly, even though Shark Boy's continuing to tweet about Josh. And I'm just looking at all of this that's going down, and I am just saying to myself, Josh Matthews, you, my friend, are a fucking genius. You are a fucking genius. And see, this is what everybody is not understanding about Josh Matthews right now. First off, Josh Matthews has known for a good minute that not everybody likes his style of commentating. If you ask me, look, Josh Matthews sounds like he has something stuck up his ass. And I say that in all due respect. But he sounds, God, he sounds like, I don't know, he just sounds like he needs to go like, he sounds like he needs to go hit the can. He really does. I mean, just picture Josh Matthews in your, I mean, he sounds like maybe he has hemorrhoids or something. He sounds like he has hemorrhoids and he is just like in his chair and he's trying very hard not to like sit on his ass because, you know, he doesn't want to sit on that fucking hemorrhoid. But like, I laugh whenever I watch TNA wrestling because I got Pope. Oh, daddy, it's going down now, daddy. Now watch out there. That go be bad. And then I gotta hear Josh Matthews, Eddie Edwards coming down to the. No, wait a minute. I gotta do this right. So you got Josh Matthews. He's like, and here comes Bobby Lashley. Lashley coming down to the ring.
Lashley, what's he gonna do to Eddie Edwards?
And it's just like, Josh, take it easy, man. What's going on? What's going on, man? You need some more fiber in your diet, brother? Like, get some preparation H, man. You'll be all right. But Josh Matthews is a fucking genius, because Josh Matthews has known, it goes as far back to his tenure in WWE. Now, I think the argument could be made that, hey, Josh Matthews or David Otunga, I think a lot of people would say Josh Matthews. But when it's all said and done, Josh Matthews has known for a lot of years that there have been fans as far back to his tenure in WWE that just did not like him. And it has continued coming over to TNA Wrestling. And you know what? I gotta commend Josh, because what he is doing right now, he is trolling people. He is trolling people. And that is how you get people to talk about you, to follow what you do. Because if you're gonna jump out there and you're gonna say some crazy, obnoxious shit, now Josh is a very smart man. When you do your respected research on the guy, you look up the history, the guy is smart as hell. So make no mistake about it, Josh Matthews is not doing this shit just to be like doing it because he believes this shit is true. He is doing this shit because he is trying to push those right buttons of certain individuals in the wrestling community. And he is pushing those buttons oh so well. And he's having a lot of fun doing it. So when I hear a situation where Josh Matthews is bashing the hell out of Samoa Joe, you know what? I think deep down inside, Josh Matthews may have a little bit of jealousy about how his career in Josh Matthews may have a little bit of tension. He may have a little bit of frustration over how his career in WWE had ended. But just because your career ended in WWE doesn't mean that just because you're now working for the competition that all of a sudden, well, WWE doesn't exist. Because I think it's funny. It's like, oh, you're watching WWE? Like, what the? If you're a fan of wrestling, that's never going to change. You're always going to appreciate wrestling from all standpoints. Don't matter the promotion. You're always going to be representing 24/7 when it's all said and done. Don't matter what the promotion is, especially if you've had the fortune and pleasure of making friends in various promotions over the years when it's all said and done. So, for me to see how Josh Matthews is handling individuals on social media right now, not to mention the guy's got his own little radio show that's going on. I'm loving it. I'm just kicking back. I'm watching him and I'm going, you slick son of a bitch. Honestly. And I just love people that are just like blowing a gasket over this fucking dude.
Did you hear what Josh Matthews said? Did you?
He is just doing a damn good job trolling people. That's it. And I love it. I got no problem with him. And he wants to keep talking about the whole commentating team, best TNA. Let me tell you something. When it's all said and done, when you say stuff like that, what's going to happen? 9 times out of 10, somebody that doesn't know anything about that particular product. Okay, well, let me go watch this. Let me go see what this guy is talking about. Let me see what the hell. Do you honestly stop and think for a minute? You really think Josh Matthews thinks he's better than Jim Ross? Thinks he's better than Gordon Sully? Thinks he's better than Bobby the Brain Heenan? Thinks he's better than Jesse the Body Ventura? He would probably love to be in the conversation with those guys just from an ego standpoint, but he knows deep down inside that he's not in that same league. But let me tell you something. When you're trying to spread some type of brand awareness, when you're trying to get people to talk about you on social media, that is sometimes how certain people will play the game. And he is playing it right now. And you all are suckers for it. Those of you that have responded to him, you've played right into his hands. as soon as I saw the thing with TNA, I was like, and see, this is what's really funny. This isn't the first time that Josh Matthews has taken these, what some may consider to be odd shots. Over the years, Josh Matthews, since he's been with TNA Wrestling, over the years, Josh Matthews has said and done some questionable things that kind of make you go, wait, what? I remember an instance a couple of years back. It was after he first joined TNA Wrestling. And there was an exchange that he had with Jim Ross. Can't remember the exact circumstances. But I remember Josh was trolling JR. And JR and him, you know, they kind of kept going back and forth. And Josh Matthews kind of realized that, like, hey, I think I kind of got something going on right here. But that was an instance right there where, like, it almost, like, backfired in Josh's face because so many JR fans, like, came to try to represent him and everything. And I remember eventually Josh kind of backed down a little bit, but not to the point that, like, I don't recall him issuing an apology or anything like that. But I do remember him kind of backing down. But this isn't the first time that Josh Matthews has been a troll on social media. A troll in a way where he's trying to create some type of buzz for himself and his brand. And at the same time, if TNA can somehow kind of benefit from it as well, from the standpoint of maybe it'll kind of bring in more eyes to the product. Yeah, sure. Why not? If you got somebody saying that they're better than Jim Ross, Gordon Sully, and all that other shit, you're probably gonna have a bunch of motherfuckers that's gonna be like, well, I ain't never heard of this guy. Let me see what this man is about. Quite honestly. So I commend him. I fucking commend him. I mean, I wouldn't go about it like that on social media. Maybe I'm too nice of a guy, but I tell you, he's doing it right. He's got people talking about him. Think about it. Just stop and really think for a second. Practically every single wrestling website is talking about him. They've been talking about him and this whole thing for like 2 weeks now. You look him up on Twitter. You look him up on Instagram and all that. And my man is trending. People are still talking about him. So, I mean, when it's all said and done, game, set, match. You know, take it for what it's worth. The dude's just trying to get a reaction out of folks. It's all about self-brand awareness. It's all about brand awareness. And the sooner you guys realize that, then you have a decision to make. Okay, do I continue to drink this Kool-Aid? Or do I kind of like get hip, know what this guy's up to, and don't even pay him no mind? Just keep doing my thing. You pay him no mind, you do your own thing, eventually that shit gonna fizzle out.